Listen to me, listen well. Hear the evil of Islamic rule. A book held high above the law. If you don't see danger, you're a fool. They call it peace, I call it hate. World domination is the plan. The darkness of the caliphate will break the soul of any thinking man. Your voice is treason, thought is sin. Your every loss is their win. Heed my warnings, my loud alarm. Don't fall for their deceitful charm. Resist it while you still can. I beseech you, I demand. Hold on tightly to this land.
Hi, good afternoon. How the devil are you? Hello. Just making sure. Hello. Oh, that's working. Hi, it's been a while. It's too hot. My office is too hot. I don't have air conditioning. I've got air conditioning in my house. I don't have air conditioning here. Have I just turned? No. Okay. Something's very weird behind me. So I might have to just adjust that. Anyway, how are you all? I realized that when I was in the States, I did a message and nobody could hear me, so that was good. And then I went on a river for 3 hours. So sorry about that. I went over to warn the United States of America about what the hell was going on in this country, and told them about people being arrested and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, hi. It's been some time. So let me just introduce you to Sarah Owens. You might know her. She is the chair of the Women and Equalities Committee. She's in Parliament, and she is a borderline moron. I say borderline. I think I'm just being kind. She is an absolute moron. So we're going to just talk about puberty blockers, because often what we hear is sexual function. I want to explain to you this afternoon what that actually means. What does sexual function mean? When we are talking about the sexual function of children, what are we really talking about? I want to talk about the thing that often we don't talk about, which is the relationships and the brain chemistry and what happens when you take puberty blockers and the sort of other things that we never talk about. You know, it's not for, I'm going to be quite graphic, so you'll have to excuse me. It's not about ejaculation and orgasms. That's not the only thing it's about. Puberty is a really important thing. It distances you from your parents. It stops you being an infant. It's all about sexual attraction, but it's also about processing. It's about brain maturity, and those things they don't know, and they strongly suspect, and it sounds quite rational, that when you prevent these hormones from helping the brain at the time of puberty, not only do you do whatever damage, but even if you were to pick that up, and it was not a lie they are just a pause, because that's not true. Even if you could just pick puberty back up, you're not going to be doing those same things as your peers. So you're going to seem immature. That's going to impact your relationships going forward. If you have a massive gap of no friendships and being reliant on your parents and still acting like a toddler in your teenage years, then the long-term risk to your kind of mental, emotional, and relational health is catastrophic. Now, none of this is possible, ladies and gentlemen. None of these expensive subscriptions for my equipment and so on is possible if you don't buy merch. So here's your advert for today. So you can get yourself a nice yellow Union flag. How lovely is that? So we've got that one. Or maybe you fancy getting some sort of investment, because this is the color of autumn. So we have red. So this is that's like a cherry red. And then that is a very bright red. And then this is a slight pink. And again, they are double lengths. Or maybe that's not your color. Maybe you're going to have to go for blue. Just remember, This is the only way I can do anything. So nice blue. So this is like a light turquoise and like a duck egg. That really nice pottery. Is that blue? Or you might want to get yourself a brand newly designed pink scarf that has got woman, adult human, female on it. And it's, look, it's sheer. They're all sheer. But this has got woman, adult, human, female. And then if you can see these, so each one of these is a Venus symbol. So that's a Venus symbol all facing in. That's a Venus symbol all facing out. How lovely is that? So this is the sort of color. See? However you wear it, it's amazing. Yes, I'm very talented. Thanks. Thanks for saying. I think you were thinking it. Anyway, so that's how I do what I do. I don't ask for donations. You can give some of those as well if you want. But this is all about wear it, be it, say it, see it, sorted. Okay, so let's have a look at Sarah Owens, and we will go through exactly why she is an infinite moron. And she's a very good argument about not having quotas, not having female quotas, not having female lists in Parliament. Ready? Okay, here she is. Be prepared.
Blockers are the same drugs. These puberty blockers are the same drugs, prescribed in the same way, but instead of treating gender distress, they are instead treating prostate cancer, endometriosis.
Let's just hold on there, shall we? Let's talk about prostate cancer. So, Lupron, which is presumably what she's talking about, because that was used in prostate cancer in the United States of America, there were some doctors getting kickbacks for prescribing Lupron to men with prostate cancer to the tune of $1.6 million. And it wasn't just one or two of them. There were loads of the doctors prescribing Lupron. And why was it such a bad thing to prescribe Lupron, you might ask? Like, why were they doing it? Well, they were doing it knowing that these men would actually have died with prostate cancer, not of prostate cancer. And when they were prescribing these Lupron drugs, often these men were dying of heart attacks. So she says in her little thing up here next to the TikTok video, safety is paramount. Well, love, yes, it is. And you don't seem to know very much about what you're talking about. So Lupron is a drug that has been used for prostate cancer in adult males, not children, in adult males and endometriosis, but certainly with Lupron being used for prostate cancer in the United States of America, there were massive lawsuits against the drug manufacturer. So that's one to me.
And premature sexual maturity in children.
Yes, and when they were used for precocious puberty, the reason they were used is to preserve adult height. So once you go through puberty, you stop growing. So to reduce emotional and social difficulties associated with the very traumatizing early onset of periods. Like if you imagine a 4-year-old girl having a period would be absolutely awful. To delay menstruation, to allow development to occur at a more typical age so that you're the same as your peers. And precocious puberty is usually when you're 7 or under. So how long they're used is usually like a couple of years, and then you're at the same age as everybody else. So your brain development that also would be impacted if you went through a very early puberty, that also doesn't happen. So you just have treatment for a couple of years, really. And after stopping for a couple of years, it does say that in most cases, not all cases, the brain resumes to send hormone signals. Ovaries or testes begin to produce sex hormones again, increases naturally. Menstruation usually begins within about 6 to 18 months in girls, and fertility is generally expected to be preserved. So there are radical differences between that. So you actually then go through puberty at the same age as your peers. And look, there may well be some issues with precocious puberty treatment that they haven't documented, because what they were trying to do is stop the harm, the genuine harm of going through puberty and what that might mean for a 4, 5, 6-year-old. That's the whole point of it. So I think that's 2 to us.
Yet we have heard no call from scientists, no call from campaigners or the medical community to stop the use of puberty blockers for the treatment.
Yes, love. Let's go through that again. So if you have precocious puberty, that takes you outside of your peers, and that means that you are going to go through puberty in a body with a brain and body that really can't understand it, and it's going to be very difficult, very, very traumatizing. It is likely to lead to trauma. In addition to that, let me just say, I think precocious puberty, I don't know this, I just think it. I sound like Candace Owens, but I suspect that precocious puberty is also linked to things like autism, because children with autism do tend to go through puberty earlier, which I think, especially for girls, imagine you're socially awkward, you go through puberty at 7, not precocious, but just go through very early puberty. You become kind of a point and laugh at in a cohort of peers that you already feel excluded from. I would think those sorts of mass traumas, and they are incredibly mass traumas, I would think those are part and parcel of what happens to some girls where they then disassociate from their bodies and they think that they must be the opposite sex, and that would be an answer. So that's what we're talking about. Precocious puberty is very different. Now we're going to get on to brain development. Let's just see what else she has to say, and then I'm going to talk to you to some of the brain development issues when you block puberty and what the point of puberty is for the brain. Not just about starting your periods and growing breasts for girls.
Last year, the Women and Equality Select Committee held a one-off inquiry into the safety and effectiveness of puberty blockers. We also examined the use of puberty blockers for other medical purposes, something that has not been discussed today when talking.
No, because you fucking moron. All of those other reasons have a medical necessity, all of them. There is a body that is harmed. There is a body that is unwell. There is a body that is diseased. And the puberty blockers are part and parcel of like a wide kind of medical answer to those problems. Like one of them is fucking cancer. So to take puberty blockers to stop cancer is going to save someone's life. Not someone who feels a bit depressed, not somebody who's got mental parents, but someone who genuinely may die of cancer. Now, I've just obviously said that that isn't the case, but I'm sure in some cases there is a medical need. And maybe we could all come to an agreement after some scientific research that there's never a medical need for taking puberty blockers. But right now, those other treatments are not about a child thinking there's something they're not.
About the risks or perceived risks of puberty blockers. It is commonplace to use puberty blockers for certain cancers, endometriosis, and for children experiencing premature sexual maturity, also known as precocious puberty. When it comes to cancers like prostate cancer, the professors on the panel described the need to essentially turn off testosterone. This is now commonplace treatment for prostate.
Yeah, in an adult man. Fucking hell. I don't believe she can be this thick. Using a puberty blocker, using a hormone blocker that is then repurposed to be a puberty blocker, because it's not called a fucking puberty blocker when you are using it for a man with who already is a fully grown man in his 60s who's got cancer of the prostate. Jesus Christ. I am going to answer though, because I feel like this deserves an answer, just so you guys have an answer when somebody throws this crap in your face. So, an adult man having testosterone blocked for a little bit because the testosterone hormone is feeding the cancer is very, very different to blocking the cancer of a developing child. Now, what we know is that from 0 to 3, you might think from 0 to 3 months or 0 to 3 years rather is the most that a body will ever change, because that's quite a lot, right? You go from a You go from a baby with nonverbal, who can't focus their eyes, like your eye color changes. You can't sit up, you can't walk, you can't do any of those things. Actually, the bigger brain change is in adolescence. Like your brain changes much more in adolescence for a whole host of reasons than it does from 0 to 3 years old. One of those things is that you become much more, you push away from your parents and you're much more attached to your friends. Now, that doesn't just happen, right? That happens with the surge of hormones. That's why your kids get argumentative and annoying. That's the surge of hormones. Now, if you're not having that surge of hormones because your puberty is being blocked, let's think about the things that might happen to your brain. So the brain is completely remodeled and it undergoes extensive what they call pruning. So that's the connections that are frequently used are strengthened and the connections that are rarely used are eliminated. So that makes your brain really efficient. Now that happens because your hormones are reshaping your brain. Now, if you block puberty, you're not going to do that. Your brain is not going to be more efficient. It's going to stop that. Blocking those hormones will stop your brain doing that very important process called pruning. The myelination increases. So nerve fibers become wrapped in more myelin. I'm saying this stuff, I don't really know what it is. It's an insulating layer that allows electrical signals to travel much faster. So your brain a bit quicker. So that improves your processing speed, your memory, your attention, your coordination, and your complex reasoning. That's why you see these kids who've taken puberty blockers to seem like fucking prepubescent children. They act like toddlers often. That's like when you see some of those kids. I mean, I wonder what hormone impact there is with children with autism as well. But anyway, we'll leave that aside. But this is what's happening with these kids who've had their puberty blocked. So they lose that kind of brain hormone maturing. The brain develops earlier than the reasoning brain. So the emotional brain. So the limbic system. So this also happens with this hormone. These hormones, whatever hormones, testosterone, estrogen, whatever hormones are going to get you into an adult body, they also do all this work on the brain. So reward, pleasure, fear, emotion, social bonding, those things are prevented from happening. Also your prefrontal cortex, so that matures as well. That's judgment, impulse control, planning, and weighing up consequences. So again, these are the things that you won't have because you haven't got the sex hormones kind of coursing through your veins. So estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, what also they do is they directly have an impact on your neurons. So formation of new synapses, survival of the nerve cells, neurotransmitter systems, brain connectivity, all of those things. Again, this is estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. These are the things that you block with puberty blockers. They affect attraction, sexual desire, pair bonding, social behavior, and mood. This is no small thing. Reward circuits become more sensitive. So during puberty, dopamine pathways become more active. So this increases responsiveness to novelty, social approval, romantic interest, sexual stimulation, and achievement. Now, you will notice some of these things are really important in making friends. Social approval. This is the reason that if a group of kids are running across the road, as opposed to a kid crossing on their own, you are more likely to get hit by a car. You're going to take those bigger risks. Sexual behavior develops. So this is sexual interest, sexual fantasies, romantic attraction, sexual motivation, and orgasmic responses. All of those things are blocked when you take puberty blockers. And just remember, you'll take puberty blockers until you're like 16 or maybe 18 in the UK. Maybe it's 16. It might be 18 when the NHS will give you cross-sex hormones. So you'll do that until you're 18, and then you'll take these hormones that can't line up with any of your experiences for the last 8 years because you've had your puberty blocked. So what do those hormones mean when you reintroduce them? What do they mean to a body that hasn't learned about control? I mean, even if they do, we don't even know at the moment. There's no evidence to suggest if you take testosterone, having no puberty, all blocked during all of those times where your brain should have been changing along with your peers, we have no information that actually when these perverts talk about, I'm going through my puberty. We have no idea what that really means and whether or not you really can just introduce cross-sex hormones, your opposite sex hormones, and it will actually work with your body because your genitals are different. Estrogen changes the clitoris and the labia. Testosterone is not going to have the same impact on your clitoris and labia, or on your breasts, or on any sort of sexual stimulation or erogenous zone. So social cognition improves. You recognize emotions. You understand other people's perspectives. These are all things you can't do as a teenager if you've had your puberty blocked. Forming identity, navigating complex social relationships. And then the final thing is the prefrontal cortex continues developing. So planning, self-control, emotional regulation, long-term thinking, decision-making. So there is limited evidence, but what I know, even if you got all those things once you took these cross-sex hormones, you haven't developed at the same rate as your friend. You've missed out on 6 years. Like any of you who've had children who had to miss out on 6 months of schooling, you know, not mixing with their peers for 6 months had quite an impact. And some of you will have only children who then didn't get to see a single child. Like I've got 4 kids, so maybe it was a little bit less, but mixing with other children, that social impact that they missed out on for 6 months. Now imagine that is 6 years where all the other children are experiencing something that one child is not. So the questions you would need to know the answers, like what impact does it have on emotional development, executive function, social development, sexual maturity, and brain connectivity? Like, it's not good, is it? It's not good.
Cancer. The other is for endometriosis, and we already know the disgraceful delays in diagnosis and treatment for endometriosis and adenomyosis, at least 10 to 13 years. Even just for diagnosis, women are living in pain for far too long. But experts are using puberty blockers to, again, essentially turn off menstruation and estrogen for women with severe endometriosis.
Who aren't children going through puberty. Fuck me, love.
And when it comes to the use of puberty blockers for children, this is for children. Treatment of premature sexual maturity or precocious puberty uses puberty blockers for children now. The professors reported to our committee it is recognised as a reversible treatment, with Professor Butler going on to add from follow-up studies with children who have received it for precocious puberty that there are no ill health effects in the long term, nor are there any negative effects on fertility recovery.
Because they will be taking those drugs at up to 6 years old. So the rest of their, honestly, how many women have taken the pill and then have taken a couple of years to conceive? Like this fucking idea that you can mess around with hormones in your body is just, it's for the birds. For some women, it can make them mental. It can change the sexual attraction we have for our partners. Sometimes if you meet your husband, if you meet the love of your life, this is why some women, I'm sure, end up with like cluster B soy boys. But you can meet a man who you're attracted to, and then you get married and come off the pill and you're no longer attracted to him. You don't like his smell. Like hormones are really, really important. I don't know why anybody would think you should fuck with hormones. Like it's ridiculous. Like we are all attracted to our partners based on chemistry, like literally things that we have no control over. Like my husband clearly is gorgeous and I love him very much. But if I'd written down on paper exactly what my husband should be like, well, aside from the way he looks, it might not necessarily be exactly what I would have picked. And yet I was extraordinarily, like, couldn't help it, very attracted to him because I wasn't on the pill. So this idea that these women, for a start, I don't believe any of them. I think they're all liars. But I just want us to be really, really clear. When they are talking about precocious puberty or using Lupron or any of these puberty blocker drugs for prostate cancer, I want you to remember that there were lawsuits in America that meant that some doctors were getting a $1.6 million kickback for giving drugs to people that they damn well knew might kill them with heart failure. These men would not necessarily have died of heart failure. They would have died with prostate cancer. It's a very slow growing cancer in like 70, 80-year-old men. So I don't know what this woman is on. It's mind-blowing, but I don't mind being disliked, which is why I'm talking about Islam. Much to the annoyance of many women, I think. There's a lot of women who still want to go out, meet up, and protest about things that I mean, we said it, right? We said it. And my job, I have always felt, is to make sure that you all know that you can speak about these things. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing some videos about what is thrown at us with this trans stuff and how you very easily get over it. One of the things I think you need to start saying when someone said, oh, I think they are women, I think you should just say, I don't believe you. Oh, and I thought I'd tell you all that at the end of the month, I will be debating Helen Weberly. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell you where, but it will be happening. So I'll leave you with a video that I've made. I hope you enjoy it. Look, I can't do any of this without you getting yourself some merch. So if yellow is your color, have yellow. If red is your color, you can do a red. If blue is your color, you can do a blue. And if you just want to be a woman, you can get yourself one of these. So anyway, enjoy my new video. Much love to you all. Look, if you can speak the truth, like really speak the truth, everywhere you go, I promise we will win. If you can understand that you might not like what I'm talking about at the moment with Islam and migration, but I have every belief that you will catch up. And then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.
Whatever you do, do not notice the wolves at the door, all hope on the floor. Don't say you see, you're living in decline, your town on its knees, covered in litter and grime. Don't name the sirens, don't count the doors, don't look for the girls not coming home anymore. If you stay quiet, we can all pretend the future is fine, nothing to mend. Don't say it out loud, don't give it a name. They hate a witness, their never-ending shame. If you look right through it, they lose their power. They want you smaller, hour by hour. Do not notice, do not notice, do not notice. They took your soul. Don't say see it, say nothing at all. Your silence feeds them, you stay small. Do not notice, do not notice. Keep your eyes shut, keep your mouth closed. Don't say the police only turn on you when the wrong hands beg, they know what to do. Don't say justice bestowed on the few depends on identity, one rule for you. Don't say bad people walk ahead of good. blind. They want your fear to own your mind. Don't say it out loud, don't give it a name. They move the pieces, then blame the game. If you look right at it, the spell comes apart. So we shake the cage and we rip out the dark. Do not notice, do not notice, do not notice. They stole your hope. Don't say you see it, say nothing at all. Your silence feeds them, you stay small. Do not notice, do not notice. Keep your eyes shut, keep your mouth closed. But I saw the chinks in their fake armor. I heard the shots, the manufactured drama. I saw the fear in the kids at dusk. I saw the light trying to lift through us. So raise your fists and break that spell. A name can shake what they guard so well. We all notice, our eyes are all open, our voices are loud.